So I want to see if I can use this mic. Let me see if it will work. Okay, I think it's working to reduce the the background noise. So I think it's working. Yeah. So this is Oma. Welcome to my live today. I told you I was going to come later in the day again after the first live in the morning. So today, um, I'll be showing you how to draft an exaggerated skirt. It will be on my thumbnail after this live. So it's a short skirt, like 24 inches skirt from here to like, no, a short skirt. This skirt is usually made with ashoke and some other thick fabric, but majorly you see, people using ashoke to make it. Then if you saw Priscilla or Joe's dress, she wore one pink dress during her wedding. She had that, it was a dress, but she had that exaggeration on her hip. So that's what I'll be showing you how to make today. So let's kick off, right? Let's get going. So what you need is your tape rule. I have my tape rule here. I'll be using a pattern paper for this. Hello, I'll be using a pattern paper for this, my scissors, and of course the curved ruler. So let's start. I'm making an exaggerated skirt hip at the hip area. Exaggerated skirt at the hip area. So let us go, okay? If you have any question, you can put down your questions. I'm still going to save this live video for later so you can go back to watch it. So here I have um my pattern paper. I have my curved ruler and my marker. So the first thing I want to do, right, is to get all my points. So I'll be starting from here actually. I'll be starting from here. Let me just get a base. So I want to get my base so that when I say from this point to this point, you understand. So this is my base. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me push the camera closer. Okay, this should be better now. It should be better. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Okay, so this is my base, right? From this line here, this is where I'm going to start all my measurements, all my length measurements. So I'll go first by taking my hip point. So my hip point, the skirt is going to start from my waist, and from my waist now, this is my base. So I'm starting from here to my hip point, and for me, my hip point is 9 inches. So I'll mark it there, 9 inches. I'll go again to get my length, skirt length, and the skirt length is 24. The skirt length is 24 inches or 22, but I'm going to use 24 inches. I'm making an exaggerated hip skirt, okay? So you guys stay with me. Thank you for joining. This is basically what I need. So I'm going to go over here again, and from this point, mark my hip line so that I can connect and then get my full skirt length, which is a mini skirt. So I'm using 24 inches, okay? So I'm just going to connect. I'm just going to connect like this. All right. I'm just going to connect like this. Okay. So this is done. I've gotten my length. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get my waist point. So all my circumference measurement, all these are my points. Let me just put it down there. So this is my hip line, and this is the length of the skirt length. Okay. I hope you can see. I hope you can see. This is the skirt length. This is my hip line, and this is the waist. This is my waist. So what I'm going to do now is I must have, or you must have, divided your circumference measurement. Your circumference measurement is your waist circumference, your hip circumference. You must have divided them by 4. So once that is done, you have divided by 4. You're going to put it here. So for me, my waist is 30. That's my round weight, 30. So divided by 4, I'm going to have 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to place it here, 7.5. I'm going to have 7.5 here, right? I don't know if you can see it. So it's 7.5. Then for my hip, I'm going to make my hip, my own hip is 44. So 44 divided by 4, 44 divided by 2 is 22, and so by 4 is 11. So I'm going to mark it down. Now for this skirt, we don't need knee circumference. You don't need knee circumference. What you need is, you only need the hip circumference and your waist circumference. So we're taking this 11 down here as our knee circumference. We're using our hip circumference here. So what the next one we're just going to do is to connect. Okay, so we're going to connect. Let me see if I don't know if you can see, but let's just go on. So we're going to connect this way, okay, and just take it straight down this way. Just take it straight down this way. Okay, so this is normal, your normal skirt. So now we need to exaggerate the hip, that hip exaggeration that we always used to see. This is the point that we need to exaggerate it now. We need to exaggerate the hip. So for some people, they don't want it to be too exaggerated. Some people don't want the hip to be too exaggerated. They will use 1 inch. So this now is your preference. You can decide to come and say, I want it to be really exaggerated. And you say, and don't forget, if you are adding 1 inch here, that 1 inch is multiplied by 4. Remember, you divided your circumference by 4. So if you add 1 here, that's 1 times 4. That means you have 4 inches round, which is not small actually. So if you want to actually exaggerate it more, you can say, oh, I'm adding 2 inches extra. So that 2 inches, you can put it here now. So me, I want to use 2 inches. You can use 5. It's your choice. But me, I want to use 2 inches. Don't use 5 for it to be too much. So I'm using 2 inches. Now, the 2 inches exaggeration you're doing is on your hip and on the length of your skirt. Don't go and put it here. That's your waist point. If you put it here, you have, except if you want to do gather elastic, you want to add elastic to your waistband. But if not, you don't need to have any other excess on your waist circumference, except if you want to have a waist elastic in an elastic band on your waist. Apart from that, the only thing you need to do here is to add your dart replacement and your allowance, because every cloth you make must have an allowance. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to still take it from here. So you want to go from this point, okay, and then connect it back here. Connect it back here. You can see this angle here. We don't need it. So what we need to do is to find a way to blend it in. We must blend it in. Okay? Yeah. So I've blended it in and it's looking better now. So we'll do it with this one. Okay? We'll just blend it in. Another thing that most people do at the hemming area is they just go up by 1 inch. It's your choice. They go up by 1 inch or by half to just, when you're cutting 6 pieces, either 6 pieces skirt or 6 pieces blouse or a normal blouse, this Igbo blouse, usually used to have a curve from the hem, usually used to have a curve like this. So you can decide to do that here, just to make it, just for the hip area or the hip structure to be more pronounced or to be more obvious. You can decide to do that or you leave it. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is your dart. Of course, your dart, you go up from your hip line by 2 inches. This is a very quick one. I don't want to take time. Okay, you go up by 2 inches. All right, get the line, connect it together. and then from this point you go in with your nipple to nipple or your apex. You already know what nipple to nipple is. Now if my nipple to nipple is 8 inches, I'm going to divide it by 2, which is 4, and that serves as my apex as well. People call it nipple to nipple or apex, whichever one that you know it as. So you connect it like that, and then you just fix your dart. Take half inch here, half inch here, fix it. Then next thing we'll do is to replace. We must replace your dart, right? If you're having a dart, you must replace it. So I've replaced my dart here, which is the 1 inch. So I'm just going to connect it. I'll connect it here. Okay, I'll just connect it here like this. So this is basically everything about exaggerated skirt. Then you add your allowance. You can decide to add 1 inch allowance after all of this. So you can decide to add 1 inch allowance, or you add 2 inches. Just depends on you. If you're not so sure of the 1 inch, you can add 2 inches, okay, or 1.5 or 1 inch, okay, or even half. Most ready to wear, they add half inch to their as their allowance, because they don't want to waste the fabric, so they just add half inch. Okay, so this is basically everything about that skirt. This is the front. Of course, when you want to cut your back, you just add 1 inch here as your zipper allowance. This is basically all you need to know about it, right? So we can cut out now. Okay, let's cut out. So when you cut this out, you can now place it on your fabric, on your main fabric, and cut on your fabric. Okay, so remember, me, I've not added any allowance here. Oh, this is it. I've not added any allowance here. What is here is just the exaggeration that I did. Okay, basically that's what is here, and my dart replacement, that's what is here. So here you have it. Okay, this is looking nice. So when you wear it, you're going to see the exaggeration that we did here. Right now it's not looking like hip because it's on paper. This is your hip, so you can imagine 2 inches times 4. What you're going to have there is about 8 inches of exaggeration, hip exaggeration. You're going to take it all the way down to your length, which will give you a very beautiful look. I think 2 inches is better. Okay, so this is basically all you need to know about exaggerated skirts. You can make it as a gown. This is just the lower bodice. You can attach it to an upper bodice and make it as a gown. And basically this is what it is. All right, thank you so much. If you have any question, ask, or when I save the video, you can leave your question in the comment section. I'll be right there to reply or to respond to any of your questions. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to add your own allowance. So there's no allowance added here, but you can, while cutting on your clothes, add your allowance. This is an exaggerated skirt. When you're done, you see it. Use your ashoke. You can use Mikado fabric. You can actually use the lighter fabric, because when your lining, you can add boning to it. Okay, so when you're sewing on your lining, you're not going to put the boning on the skirt. Oh. You're not going to put the boning on your main fabric. You're going to put the boning on your lining. That's where you have your boning, on your lining. Okay, not on your main fabric. Okay, so you're going to have your boning there. It's the boning that helps it more pronounced, especially when you're not using a thick fabric. For instance, if you're using a crepe, crepe is not as thick, or yeah, it's not as thick as ashoke. It's not well structured as ashoke and Mikado or any other fabric in that category, right? So, but if you're using a crepe, or if you're using a satin, something like that, you would need that boning for more structure. Even when you're using ashoke, you need boning, right, for more structure. So thank you very, very much. I hope this was really impactful. Till we see in our next live, I'll save this one here. Thank you, and bye bye.